There we go. Much better. Okay, and with that, we are finally here to do Strixhaven Session 1. We had to, of course, skip it last week to do Pokemon instead to make up for a bit of a problem with last Saturday. But once again, this is Strixhaven. It is a Magic the Gathering collaboration with D&D. And it's been a while, again, since I've played D&D, but thankfully the system is real easy to get back into. So, we are going to begin. Do we want to do like a quick recap on who's playing whom?
Sure. I will be playing Eos for the foreseeable future of this campaign, and it'll be really easy to tell whenever I'm in character. If you watch Session 0, if you didn't watch Session 0, then you're in for a treat.
Fair enough.
I am playing Pthew, who I do have a soundboard set up, it's just not working right now. So next week, hopefully, I will have that, and I can actually play the noise for his name. But yeah, he's a Kenku sorcerer who is obsessed with explosions and loud noises, so this will be fun.
And I'm playing Annika, the Eladrin elf bard who, changes with the seasons. So that'll be fun to interact with.
Yep, and I forget, you're not doing the personality changes though, correct?
No, I will.
Okay.
We were originally not going to change her personality because, I wasn't too sure about it. But then I was like, no, we'll do it just based on, the season as opposed to, her mood.
Yeah,
So instead of her mood determining her personality, the season determines her mood.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, with that, then we can begin. Majestic marble archways, tomes seemingly stamped. God damn it! This is why I don't.
So good with the alliteration.
Yeah, no, it's. This is why I don't normally read off a script. Majestic marble archways, tomes seemingly stacked for miles, and the infectious energy of hundreds of young adults fill the biblioplex, the grand library at the heart of Strixhaven University. The sights, sounds, and sparks of magic in the air are wondrous. Your acceptance letter stated that you must report to the Biblioplex's Hall of Oracles to receive instructions on new student orientation. The hall sits at the center of the Biblioplex's first floor, and you can already see students gathering there. And I can, just 1 second, I can show you the Biblioplex. There's a big picture, be careful. So, most likely you are standing at the entrance to the Biblioplex. Straight in front of you is this large, just orb of pure magical energy. And it pulses rhythmically with blue light. It is the heart of Strixhaven and the heart of many bouts of magic. Now, I had mentioned in Session 0 what a snarl is. It's basically a ball of magical energy. Some of them create dead zones, and some of them create and power up magic, or just create a wonderful energy to partake in the magical arts.
Nice.
I'm guessing it's a bad thing if the viewer wants to touch it.
So you cannot touch the snarl itself. It kind of floats in the center, but you are able to wade into a pool of almost crystalline like water beneath it. You do see a couple of students milling about in the water. It really only goes up to probably the average human's knee as you go deeper. But for the most part, most people are just gathered kind of around it, just idly chatting with one another or looking around in awe.
Pethieu is gonna he approaches because ooh, big shiny ball, but then as soon as he notices there's water, he kind of leans over to look at it and just mimics the noise of like a human, like if Pethieu had a noise, his nose would wrinkle and then he takes a few steps back again.
What are you other two doing as you step closer?
I would stand at the edge of the pool but not get in. Just kind of staring up at the ball, just in awe.
Orb.
Orb.
We ponder the orb.
We ponder the orb.
Ponder the orb, yes. And you, Eos?
He's going to stay clear of the water and probably like go and look around the hall of the oracle and just sort of like look at the depictions of past oracles that are around.
Okay, sure. So, as you three are doing this, an overwhelming sense of calmness kind of overtakes you, and after a moment, you hear a voice that sounds neither far nor close, and it says, "Brilliant scholars, your attention, please." And you immediately can tell that it's coming from the center of the room, and as you turn, the snarl itself appears to be speaking. With each word, it pulsates and shrinks again. As you are now Strixhaven University students, the storied Biblioplex will be your second home for research, studies, and even leisure. There is just one task to accomplish before you officially embark on your academic journey. We here at Strixhaven, each year, love to treat the students to a mere scavenger hunt. It will get you acquainted with these halls. And after a moment, as many people have turned to look, a piece of parchment pops, or poofs into existence in front of you, hanging in the air by a single thread of magic. The rules are simple. Each clue on this list will lead you to a different location in the Biblioplex. Simply travel to the area. Each clue references and performs the action the clue suggests. Time is of the essence, of course. You have until the end of the day to finish your hunt. Solve as many clues as you can. Because at each location, you will be rewarded. Now then, Off you go.
Eos takes his paper and goes ahead and reads it.
There are 5 clues. They read the following. You'll forget all about any trouble or plight when you step forward and are ensnarled in the light. Clue 2 reads, Alumni commission works when they retire, seeking promising mages to inspire. Clue 3, each group deserves a free treat for their investment. Serve up this list and enjoy your refreshment. Clue 4, these leafy beds aren't always what they seem. Give them a pat and see what you glean. Clue 5, some stars are ancient, enduring and bright, but others, maybe you, are born on opening night.
So the first thing that Eos probably does is he reads them all and then reads them all again and then looks over and walks over to Annika. Annika. Okay. That's gonna take me a few sessions, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, how many times do I call you Spyra?
That's fair. Eos walks over to Annika and he just goes,
I do not understand these metaphors. What do they mean?
Annika's gonna, ponder that for a minute while I chew some bread.
Bread.
Yeah.
Somebody's already been to the cafe, apparently.
Listen, it's dinner time here. And she's gonna go, I genuinely don't know how to explain it to you. I mean, maybe one of them is the cafeteria, but I'm not 100% sure.
Scooty, do you have it written down anywhere, or can you post it in notes?
Yes, please.
Yes, sure.
I was gonna say, I will not remember any of them except the one that seems like the cafeteria.
Yeah, I tried to write them down as you were saying them, and that I cannot.
There you go. I put them in session notes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to have to read those over and over again.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. I mean, hey, it would get me to... I'd actually learn how to read from a script if I had to repeat it.
I mean, I figured you would have already had them set up as a journal tab, but...
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Or did I actually?
So when the paper first appeared in front of you, he had looked around it as if trying to identify why it was floating. But then after he takes it, he pulls a stick of charcoal out from this pouch he has on his hip that also has a journal hanging off of it, and is scribbling on the paper. And then eventually he just is looking between the paper and the snarl, and then he looks over at at Annika standing with them, and is just pointing with the charcoal at the light.
Eos just looks at Thew and then looks at the light and goes,
I do not wish to step into the water. But when I read the first clue,
Pethieu immediately mimics the "I do not wish to step into the water."
He just
Nose goes,
stares.
Annika, go get it.
Annika's just gonna look between the two and just kind of shrug and pull off her boots and, get into the water.
Sure. So as you slowly wade out to the center of the pool, if your character is able to get goosebumps, she certainly does, though not because the water is cold, but because it feels like pure magic. And as you do so, a few fellow students watch you and look between themselves before wading into the water themselves. And as you slowly, again, wade your way to the center, your foot happens to kick something underneath the water.
I would like to pick up the thing I kicked under the water.
It looks to be a vial of sparkling red viscous liquid.
Magic blood.
Health potion.
I was gonna say I'm thinking more health potion than blood, but
Yeah, health potion, magic blood, same shit.
Yes,
Duh.
in fact, there is a label on it that doesn't necessarily make reference to it specifically being a potion of health, but you can infer that it is, in fact, a potion of healing.
Wahoo!
And
Microphone, please. When Pethieu sees Annika reach down and pull something out of the water, just both of his arms go up in the air in celebration as he figured it out.
Does he make the firework noise?
Not the yeah, he definitely makes it's those my brain does not want my mouth to talk. Yes. Like the strings of firecrackers that they don't go up, they just make the noises.
oh,
Mhm.
the black cats.
Yeah, it's those that repetitive kind of miniature explosion noise trilling out of his throat.
Fair enough.
Yee, excited boy.
Are you two just gonna continue to hang out around the pool itself?
Well, I think whenever she, Annika, that is, pulls something out of the water, I think Eos would go in then, seeing that obviously no direct harm came about it, so he'll step in.
Okay. So obviously, a robot doesn't really get goosebumps, but it definitely still kind of affects you in a way, and it does not
Tingly.
take you tingly. You get television static in your head, and it doesn't take you as long to end up kick something and reaching down and picking it up. Nets you also a potion of healing. In fact,
Wahoo!
you find 2.
Interesting. When he picks these vials up out of the liquid, his little his set oh my gosh, what do you call them? Like magnifying lenses that are like kind of part of his face, kind of extend to like really look closely at the glass as he's like admiring the glass work on it. And then he returns, and yeah, it's just very, very keenly studying these vials.
Very nice. They do also appear to be potions of healing, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The Thew is making this like repetitive noise of flint hitting steel, and like waving one of his arms toward Eos, and then holding out his hand expectantly.
Am I to think that you want one of these? I have no use for
Nods.
2.
Yeah, he nods and like shows his now scribbled upon clue sheet as if like proof, like this is the work I did to deserve this.
You did point us in the right direction. You deserve it.
Damn right he deserves it. So the Thew will gladly take this new thing, and it will go onto his belt by his journal. But when he kind of showed you his paper of clues, he has like several. The other 4 clues also have things like scribbled and circled out, and so he has things like for the second clue, he has Illumini and Retire like underlined with an arrow like beds ? Then there's Mages Inspire, might be the library, treat refreshment, cafeteria obviously, leafy beds like flower beds maybe, bushes, and then for opening night, theater or a stage.
That's fair enough. He just nods, and his little optical face mask bits sort of like extend and retract as they focus on different parts of the scribbling, and he just goes,
Very astute. It seems that none are going to be in this room in particular. We should probably move on.
While all of this was happening, by the way, Annika would have, gotten out of the pond and put her shoes back on.
Yes, and of course, stepping out, your feet are not like wet or anything like that. It's definitely a strange kind of magical liquid. Okay, so with that, of course, from kind of where you're standing, you can make out some other landmarks around. First of all, one of the first things, when you walked in, you did walk past a small cafe, but also off into to the west and northwest, you do see what appears to be little gardens that have large trees in the center, and they're surrounded by shrubs. You see a couple of students milling about around there. They're like touching and tapping on trees. Some of them are touching grass. But for the most part, nobody really seems to know exactly what they're doing. Of course, more and more people are kind of filing into the pool after someone else did all the work.
Is touching grass doing good for some of those students?
Probably.
Probably mentally.
Yep.
All the dopamine.
All the needing to go outside every once in a while.
Eos, I guess, walks out of like the south side of the Hall of the Oracle, and I think
You know what,
probably
I could actually do this. Just give me 1 second. That might help with
Oh my goodness!
I know, right? Tokens?
I thought we were just playing. Imagine yourself on the map.
Might as well make it a little easier. I mean, I am streaming this after all, so visual representation would be good to have.
For sure.
Tokens in a paused game?
Yeah.
I think the pause function is more of an anti DM tool than an anti-player.
Look, I gotta say this about a paused game.
Ah, I see. As one does.
Yep.
So, Eos, the clockwork construct, will exit the south side of the Hall of the Oracle. I think, like, considering the size of the place, the first thing he probably would notice is the big green trees amidst the sort of plain brown bookshelves and the stark white of the marble floor and ceiling and walls.
Oh yeah,
So-
the trees themselves basically push up against the ceiling with how tall they are.
Mhm. So,
They also appear to have like little reading nooks built into them as well.
Eos points to the one directly west of them, past all of these tables, and my brain just died. Yikes. I'm sorry.
The fourth clue mentioned leafy beds, and I see leaves. Perhaps we should investigate those.
A few nods and mimics the "we should investigate those" in Eos's voice.
Might as
As
well.
they go ahead.
I think she just said might as well.
Oh yeah.
Whee!
So you enter one of the book gardens, and obviously it is probably one of the most elaborate micro gardens you've seen. They almost seem to be their own little biospheres. This one you are at seems to mimic that of a jungle. And you do, of course, the tree in the center is big, with
big?
little.
How big?
What was that?
How tall? How big?
Well, the biblioplex is massive. Does it actually state how big this first floor is?
It does give you wall and ceiling dimensions. I think the ceiling is like 50 feet high. Something like that.
Yes. Yeah, 50 feet high on the first floor. So, yeah, five stories tall.
Oh my gosh, you have to climb 5 stories worth of stairs to get to the second floor.
Right.
Oh my lord.
So then, yeah, how big the tree?
Yeah, so the tree itself is pushing up against the ceiling itself and almost like sprawling out at the top, so it's hitting 50 feet. But surrounding it are like well-trimmed hedges and shrubs of varying species.
So on this 50-foot tree, are there like... I don't want to give specifics so you don't say no, but are there like any branches that are 10 feet off the ground?
Yes, there's, because of the way this is made, it's kind of inferred that people will actually climb up this tree and study within its branches.
Cool. So, if Eos and Annika are paying attention, you can see as Bethu like tucks the list and this charcoal back into his pouch and kind of pats everything down to make sure that they're like secure. And then he rubs his hands together and claps. But while as his hands like meet, he has actually cast Thunderclap and made a very loud noise, and then he shoots 10 feet into the air and is going to try to land on a branch.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Athletics, where the... There it is. Can I use acrobatics?
Yes, yeah, I'll allow that.
If you're trying to stick a
Oh,
landing,
no!
then- oh no!
This is why
Oh.
he needs the gymnastics class.
Oh no!
Oh!
First roll of Strixhaven is a natural 1.
Yeah,
Is
buddy.
it the dice gods telling us not to get our education?
So as you
It's not to
attempt,
do dumb shit like launch yourself into the air.
so as you attempt to land on this branch, obviously you weren't fully prepared to land on it, and it shakes violently, and you come tumbling back down and landing on one of the landing on a shrub.
Annika would run over to Pethu and be like, "Are you okay?"
And as you do that, several of the shrubs around Pithu almost sounds like they're giggling.
And Eos comes over. He's like inspecting the. He runs over because he hears the commotion, and then as he helps Annika pull Pethu out from the bushes, he just goes,
That sound. It is not you making that sound, is it? Where is it coming from?
Pethu is like... I was imagining he kind of like, in cartoons, he fell kind of head first, but is safe in these shrubs. So as you guys pull him out, he has to kind of like cartwheel to get back up onto his feet. And then he just kind of lets himself fall forward so that both of his hands pat onto the shrubs.
Sure. And as you do that, the shrubs kind of explode into almost like a childlike laugh, and they part, revealing what appears to be a stuffed animal.
Hugh is going to just immediately like snatch it up, and it's going on his belt next to his journal like the health potion did.
It appears to be, in fact, a mascot of Silverquill, an inkling, as they are called.
"Nice."
So Pithiu is now fastening this little inkling plush onto his belt. And then he looks between the two of you and gestures with his arm like, go ahead. Welcome to what the answer is. Even if I came across it accidentally.
Eos will like run his metal hands like just sort of like in like a very stiff like up and down like patting sort of.
Sure. And once again explodes into laughter and parts, revealing another stuffed animal, this time in the form of Quandrix's mascot. Which I believe are called fractals?
Yes.
Yes.
It's they're like fractal elementals. They're basically like cuboids.
Yeah.
Or a mismatch of like different cuboids.
Mhm.
As he takes it and he like looks at it and then he looks over it at the others and goes,
I'm not sure what this is for. Is it well made? I could perhaps create more of these in my spare time.
I'm trying to remember exactly what the mysterious voice that gave us the clue papers had said. What was it like? He didn't say prizes, he said something else, right?
Rewards?
Yeah, so if you mimics the like in that kind of hollow, weird, boomy but not boomy voice, reward.
I see.
And Annika, noticing both of them, picking up plush dolls, she's gonna, eagerly, pat one of the shrubs.
Sure. And you are rewarded with a plush of the Lorehold mascot. Which that one I don't remember what that is.
it's a little statue. It's like a spirit. It's like their mascot is like the spirit statue or whatever. So it's just a little plush, like marble statue. I think.
Fair enough. Now these are actual items, so when you go to add them to your sheet, I believe they are just referred to as a cuddly Strixhaven mascot is the name of the item. So do mark that, and do mark the potion of healing. And with that, the second clue disappears off of your paper. That leaves 3.
After they have all retrieved their plushes, Eos puts it because they're clinging, right? Like they like stick to you or something.
Yes.
Okay. He like goes to like set it on his shoulder, and it just sort of sticks there, and he can't pull it off, or it doesn't like fall off of him immediately, so he just kind of shrugs and leaves it there. And then he just sort of walks out of this little terrarium and sees this little like enclosed room within the room, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he walks over to see what this is all about.
Sure. So you open the door and you see a couple of students milling about that have already collected their plushes. There's a young gnome woman whose her plush is on her back like a backpack, and they're kind of admiring the portrait, which almost appear to move and almost come out of the picture, the frames themselves from time to time. They appear to be, again, portraits of older alumni wearing Prismari college robes.
Eos just kind of walks around, just sort of taking a glance at each picture and reading a plaque or two. And he actually takes this metal sphere out of his back, out of a little circular cavity in his back, and he just kind of fiddles with it absent-mindedly as he walks around.
So as you get to the back of the room, there appears to be a large portrait that appears to be a group class photo, and the painting itself is not static. It appears to be a group of Prismari students that are doing different faces and different poses and appear to be having a great time. And underneath the portrait, there's a plaque that reads, "At Strixhaven, we were all inspired." And below that appears to be what appears to be a lever of some kind.
Ooh. Pull the lever, Kronk.
Pulling the lever causes the painting to open outwards as if it were a hidden doorway. And inside of it appears to be a box or a chest. Small in nature, but rather elegant.
Eos doesn't touch the box. He just sort of leans forward, and his little optical lenses extend at it, and he looks at it for a minute, and then he turns his little sphere a couple times, and there's a lot of sounds of clicking and turning of gears and things, and until a little segment of it opens, and he takes out what looks to be a set of various tools.
Useful for the key.
Exactly. And he closes it back and then takes essentially like a pair of like tongs and like a little bar, and like grabs the box with from both ends, and like not touching it, and like lifting it out of its little cavity.
Sure. And as you do this, the paintings swing shut, and it appears the group of students are all giving a thumbs up. And looking over the box, there doesn't appear to be a lock on it or anything. You are free to just pop it open, as it were.
Eos sets the box on the ground and slides his tools back into his little sphere and just goes,
There appears to be no lock. and I do not see anything obvious. You must forgive me for being cautious. Which one of you would like to open it?
Well, it's funny that you say forgive yourself for being cautious, because like Pithieu has barely entered the room. He is trying to stay away from all these moving pictures and has not like got within 5 feet of one yet, so he's just kind of stuck at the end of this little nook because it would require getting closer to the pictures.
I suppose they could be the idea of like a moving picture could freak someone out that hasn't seen them before, for sure.
It's part of the reason why illusions are potentially very powerful if you roleplay them well.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
So from this like farther back spot that Pithieu has taken up, he's just like pointing at Annika. Like that one is the one who will, yes, her.
Okay. I guess I'll open the box.
Sure. So opening the box, there appears to be 3 folded bits of fabric inside. They are each of them appears to be a different color, specifically colors of the colleges. And taking them out of the box, of course, as soon as you do that, the box almost dissipates and fades out of existence. Unfurling these bits of fabric reveals them to be little triangle pennants, little flags. And they kind of sparkle and shimmer and almost cast a light in your hands. There are 3 of them.
Well, Annika's gonna distribute them out.
And
I will.
to what purpose will these serve, I wonder?
I will allow you to choose whatever flavor you want them to be in terms of what school they represent.
In what flavor would you describe each school to be?
Oh, well, Lorehold's pretty vanilla.
Quandrix is pretty bland. Prismari is very spicy. Witherbloom is a
bitter.
very, I was gonna say very earthy. And Silverquill, I mean,
It's fruity.
fruity. I was gonna go with like metallic, because ink has that metallic sort of iron smell to it, but it works.
I hate the fact that you said Prismari is spicy, and all I think is spicy students.
Well,
Back
then
at-
what? Describing the one as fruity.
Back
Well,
at it again,
I mean,
Krispy Kreme.
To be fair, Silverquill is the theater student after all.
It's true. It's true.
Scooty really just narrowing down an entire school to theater gaze.
Do I need to show the portraits of several of the Silverquill students?
You
leave
say that like
Xander
it's a
alone.
threat.
Where's my boy? Where he at? Where's my Malfoy?
Oh no.
You're a
Fucking-
Malfoy, huh?
You leave Xanther alone.
Oh god, it's not Xanther.
You realize we have Xanther as the captain of our gymnastics club, right?
Oh yeah, I'm going to enjoy role playing the man. I'm sure.
I don't know if it's the perspective or what, but my man's got a giraffe neck going on.
Oh yeah, he really
Holy
does.
shit. Well, Eos has his little Quandrix flag, and he's waving it around, making it light up, and he seems to be like very like I don't know what you would use, the term you would use, like enraptured by it, I guess.
Yeah.
He's just constantly flicking it back and forth to make it like shiny. But either way, he will return his pliers and tongs and crowbar back to his little ball. How the crowbar fits in there, he will never explain.
Extending crowbar.
Extending crowbar. And yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and head our way back here. Let's see.
So as you kind of make your way to the center of the room again, of course there is the cafe to the south, but to the north, that you can kind of see past the snarl, there appears to be a couple of students kind of making a fool of themselves on what appears to be a stage of sorts.
Few is heading to the cafeteria. No public performance, please. Let's go.
Sure. So of course you make your way over to the cafe and you see once again students kind of milling about. It appears most people appear to be taking a bit of a lunch break. There appears to be a single person working the cafe, a gnome who is almost jumping all over the place, from going to the back room, to the front, to manning the counter itself. She is absolutely just bouncing around.
Can I go up to her and show her the paper with the clues on it?
You may, and she kind of like stops for a moment, almost with a cartoony like screech as she kind of plants herself, and she goes, "Oh, well, at least somebody understands what a clue is. Everyone else just comes over here and asks me, 'Hey, are you the cafe lady?' Yes. Well, I would love to help you, but I have so many people to feed right now, and the back is an absolute mess. You know what? Would you be willing to lend me a hand?"
Sure. I have no problem with that.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Just make your way to the back, and I'll be with you in just a second. Let me hand out the rest of these sandwiches.
As Pithu is following behind Annika, he is switching between, like, very quietly mimicking the, "Are you the lunch lady?" that the gnome said, and the, "Sure, I have no problem with that" Annika said.
When Pithu does the "Are you the lunch lady?" Annika's gonna turn around and kind of just hold her finger up and go, "Shh."
Sure. So you make your way to the back, and it seems to be a completely disorganized mess. And after what appears like a few moments...
A few?
You.
A fuse.
Oh no.
News.
In before we have to stop the terrorist threat against the biblioplane.
Bomb has been planted.
Oh, no. The terrorist is in our party.
Oh yeah, that's right. Shit.
Pithu is, like, kind of glaring at Annika and is mockingly but cannot change the tone of his voice because he has to mimicking the shush.
Listen, it's not nice to constantly remind her that she's the cafe lady.
Listen, it's not nice. Shh.
Eos follows follows the gnome back here, and seeing the disorganization, there is definitely a whirring sound as he is like looking at things that are not obviously not where they're supposed to be, and he immediately just starts to like start grabbing stuff and like sorting it and like making sure things are like full, like display, like the hot cases are full and shit. It's like his clockwork brain went into organize mode.
Sure. So of course, like I said, after a moment, the gnome kind of walks in and she goes, "Oh, I didn't even have to tell you what to do."
I hear that a lot.
You three are an absolute lifesaver. Well, with this place all taken care of, yes, I can give you the reward, the prize for the clue, but I have something else too. So first of all, she hands over each of you a bit of a small pouch. But first she kind of opens it up and she pulls out several, she puts almost her entire arm into this tiny pouch, and she pulls back out a wrapped sandwich, a couple of baked cookies and whatnot, and she goes, this is the reward, and don't worry, everything stays nice and fresh in here. So this is for you, and what can I give you for helping me? Oh, I know. I need all three of you to roll a D50, please. So for Pithu, she produces what appears to be a well-used leather book satchel.
He makes a really quick but high-pitched firework explosion noise out of excitement because his belt is definitely getting full.
I was gonna ask, is he gonna attach it to his belt?
He knows what a backpack is.
For Annika, she hands over a leather bandolier-style scroll holder that has room for 6 scrolls.
Thank you.
And for Eos, you are rewarded a purple hooded cloth robe adorned with symbols of planets and constellations.
Nice.
He immediately takes it from her and then looks really closely at it, and is almost like he's examining what trying to see if the diagrams are correct.
They are
after-
correct.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
Nice.
It seems to be a perfect, just a perfect recreation of the night sky.
Nice. And he just go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, for the actual satchel she gave you, it's a Heward's handy haversacks.
Oh, nice. I forget how that is different from.
It's just, it doesn't hold as much. It holds 20 pounds of materials.
Oh, okay. So it is the same thing. It's just like a lighter variant,
Yes.
for sure.
No stuffing bodies into this one.
Damn.
Dang.
How did you know that we were gonna do that?
And as you kind of look over this, there appears to be one final clue on the piece of paper.
Well, it's definitely the stage.
Eos throws on his new robe, satisfied by its oh my gosh, what is the word I'm looking for? By its craftsmanship, I guess. And he follows Annika over to the stage.
Stage.
Sure. So you walk up onto the stage, and of course, the students that were kind of horsing around there have left. There's a few students milling about, kind of watching you, and you can see that it appears to be just a little bit of a stage where people usually come up and have, they may say some poetry or just kind of entertain. You always have the class clown that comes up here and heckles people for fun. It does appear to be a properly working stage. There's some spotlights that at the moment are currently turned off and facing towards the ceiling.
Is there any buttons around that would, turn them on?
There doesn't appear to be, but do not forget that the clue states some stars are ancient, enduring, and bright, but others, maybe you, are born on opening night.
I'm guessing that these are like at the 50-foot ceiling.
Yes. Maybe a little bit lower on maybe a kind of like a rafter of sorts. You are also free to roll if you are a bit stumped.
And were weapons allowed in the orientation?
You don't see many students with weapons.
I guess I
But-
was asking if like somebody would have confiscated Pethu's sickle.
No. Obviously you were probably warned not to, threaten anyone with them, but yeah, there's students. There's a Loxodon? Is that what they're called? The elephant people?
The Loxodon, yeah.
Yeah, there's a Loxodon walking around in full plate armor with a great sword on his back. You definitely have not had your weapons taken away.
Okay, so then he's gonna pull out his sickle and cast Green Flame Blade on it. Right. So he's just doing that to make like a light down here, and hopefully they won't have to mess with the spotlights.
Sure. And as you do that, the spotlights almost automatically turn onto the three of you, and little, almost like ghostly apparitions kind of emit from the spotlights, and below you, in a little, in almost like a little crevice, three more lights shine from below the stage.
Well, when these apparitions show up, Pithiu's gonna like full on squawk in surprise, and he fumbles his sickle a little bit. And then I guess he's gonna investigate the three lights at the bottom.
Sure. So these appear to not be spotlights, but appears to be, well, the reward, of course. In these little crevices appears to be three ghost lanterns. They operate just like a regular lantern, but they slowly rise up out of the ground, and you can barely make out that they are floating or being carried by their own mage's hand. So please add add a ghost lantern to your inventory.
Hey, real quick, what is that pennant called?
It is called... it should be called the Strixhaven Pennant. And it is a wondrous item.
Found it.
And as you kind of do this, as you kind of pick up these items and you look over them, you hear a completely ear-piercing scream come from behind the bookcases to the west, almost like shrill, and you hear a crashing of what sounds like books and crates